Well, hello. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger on April 11, 2021. Excuse my puberty voice today. I had a bit of a bad experience or encounter with something I was eating during dinner, and long story short, it went down the wrong pipe, and suffice to say, it did not want to come back up, and so I had a rather racking coughing fit, and that kind of messed up my voice a little bit. Luckily, we are doing Soul Search Sunday and not Fitness Friday or Survival Saturday, which no, I'm not one of those episodes where I have to go all macho and welcome to Fitness Friday with John Tiger, that kind of stuff. No. It's Soul Search Sunday. It is okay. Just we can relax and I can talk a little bit softer. And if my voice occasionally squeak or crack, that's fine. It's okay. I don't have to be all that macho today. I had a kind of a revelation this week. Uh, and no, don't worry. This is not going to be a religious talk, but it is somewhat related. I am, for the most part, an atheist or a spiritualist, depending on how you define me uh, or how you define atheism. From what I understand, people think that atheism are people that generally just don't believe there's anything, don't believe there's a afterlife, don't believe there's any outside forces. But if that is the case, then that's not me. Uh, I believe that there might be a possibility that there's a God. I believe there might be a possibility that there are something out there. I believe that there might be a possibility that we have souls and spirits and stuff like that. I just choose not to follow any conventional depiction of those higher power because none of them has actually convinced me that they have our best interest in mind. So I believe that they are there. I believe that they may be out there, but I choose not to worship them or follow them. That's all. So I consider myself more or less a spiritualist, which means I believe in spiritual matters. I just am not convinced one way or another if they are good for us or bad for us. But that's me digressing a little bit. Back to the little revelation I had this week. I was talking to my girlfriend, my beautiful, intelligent girlfriend, about the coronavirus. Yeah, I know, not a very romantic kind of topic, but anyway, uh, I was mentioning that uh, now it seems like there are experts, the investigation, the committee that investigating the origin of the coronavirus actually agree that it probably did come from the bats that people were eating over there in Wuhan, China. Uh, so then my girlfriend made a remark. She said, "See, that's so stupid. Like with all the access we have to beef and chicken and other sources of protein and things that we grow on the farm, things we grow on. So why would you go out of your way to eat a rodent? Why would you go out of your way to eat a flying rodent?" And that's when it hit me. How much of a parallel this whole situation. Like we are okay, let's just go ahead and assume that this was a bat, that this was the virus was there on the bat, and people it would have been okay if we left the bat alone. It did not harm the bat. It wasn't being passed on to other things. It was just there. And the only reason it got all over the world because someone got it into their head they wanted to eat a bat. It was not something like, it's not the kind of case where people in China were starving to death and the bat happened to be there. It was the only source of food. No, this was in one of those wet market where super rich, like people who uh, are so rich, they get to the point where they don't get any joy out of lobsters or scallop or beef or prime rib or lamb or stuff like that anymore. They even buffalo seem boring to them. They have to eat something they never had before. So they go to these wet markets. They pay thousands of dollars so they can eat lizards and snakes and rats and bats and insects. How much of a parallel is this to the original story of Adam and Eve? I mean, you look at it, Adam and Eve, everything was okay. This whole orchard, everything they could want in where they were at, anything they could have eaten, anything they want, they were in no danger of running out of food. So they decided to eat the one thing that specifically they were told not to eat, and then it messed them up. Sorry to put it so casually, but yeah, that's basically it. It messed them up. It messed the entire world up. It messed up the entire human race, sort of. Um, when I was growing up, and I was a Christian for a period of time when I was a teenager. I started life as a Buddhist, and then when I decided that I was not a very good Buddhist, I decided that maybe I should look for another religion. And since everyone around me at the time uh, was becoming Christian, I thought, well, maybe becoming Christian was the right thing to do. So I tried the Christian thing. I tried to read the Bible. I tried to go to church and stuff like that. So I always thought the Adam and Eve story was about uh, obedience or disobedience. And then I thought, no, maybe it's about temptation. And then I thought, no, maybe it's about greed. But now I, I think I understand it. After this week's revelation, it's not about any of those philosophical, those high horses. It's not about any of those super complicated morality things. I think the story of Adam and Eve is as simple as watch what you put into your mouth. I think that's it. Now, why do I think that's it? Because it coincides with my own culture, which didn't have the Bible. Well, in the Chinese culture, Chinese people didn't read the Bible, so the Adam story, Adam and Eve, didn't make any sense to them. They'd never heard of it. And yet, in my own culture, there's a very old proverb that says, "Bad troubles always come out of your mouth, and bad diseases always go in from your mouth." And that coincides with the coronavirus. That coincides with the story of Adam and Eve. When we really think about it, the human mouth is like maybe the one most powerful organ, body part, uh, in our body. It is, as Chinese people often said, the most the dirtiest place in the world, and it is the most sacred. It is the yin and the yang. It is the positive and the negative. It is such a powerful symbol of the two extremes, the two sides of the same coin, darkness and light, alpha and omega. Probably that's why, as Chinese people said, that's why your mouth has two lips, a set of lips, upper lip, bottom lips, because they symbolize yin and yang. They symbolize both extremes. Really think about that now, and we can realize that most of the wars, most of the troubles, most of the uh, griefs that have ever occurred in human history probably wouldn't have happened if someone somewhere, some when, somehow decided to keep their mouth shut. And a lot of the deaths, diseases, and stuff like that wouldn't have happened if someone somehow, somewhere, somewhat would have decided not to eat something. So it is true. A lot of time, sickness can be avoided uh, if we watch what we put into our mouth. And this is not just as simple as not eating a bat. This can extend to any facet of your life. Right? You decide to put some really unhealthy food into your mouth. That unhealthy food will gradually, eventually, will kill you. You decide to eat something that is not properly treated, and that thing may have worms or germs or bacteria in it that will gradually kill you. You decide to eat too much of something, and you get really fat, and those fat will gradually kill you. So it is not as simple, it is not a case of, okay, well, we're going to judge people who go out of their way to eat things that we don't eat. But the truth is, whatever we put into our mouth have the potential to do us a lot of harm, either now or 2 hours later or tomorrow or 10 years later. Just the same, whatever comes out of our mouth have the potential to start a war, to end a war, to make someone happy for days, and to mess up someone's entire day. We all heard the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. And maybe this is why that it is so important for us to guard our tongue, to really think about what will come out of our mouth, to really think about what is going into our mouth, and for us to be able to enjoy a good life, and for us to be able to make the world a better place, and for people around us to have a better time when they are around us. Today, I hear a lot of people that are health conscious. They want to eat the right thing, they want to drink the right thing, eat the right amount, drink the right amount. Maybe I think it's just as important if these people also pay attention to what comes out of their mouth while they're worrying about what goes in. Chinese people have long since understood the power of words and the power of the human mouth, the power of verbalizing your thoughts. That in Chinese belief, in actually in Buddhism and Taoism, where we talk about karma, uh, there is two kinds of karma. Now, a lot of you probably didn't know about this, so I'm going to give you a quick uh, crash course on karma. Uh, Karma is not God or Buddha punishing you for what you did or do. Karma is simply there. Karma is not a person, not a deity, not an action of the deity. Karma is like gravity. Karma is like water and air and trees. It just is. It's just there. Uh, when you throw an apple up into the air and gravity pull it back down, that is a cause and effect. That is karma. Right? You throw an apple up in the air and it comes down and bump you on the head. That's karma right there. Okay, that's just how uh, it works. So now the function of most Chinese deities, God, Buddhas, goddesses, whatever, uh, they are here to help you, help us understand how to avoid accumulating bad karma. Because when you accumulate bad karma, it's like It's like imagine you are in a boat, and every time you accumulate bad karma, you are putting more and more weight on the left side of the boat. So you accumulate enough bad karma, you're eventually going to tip that boat over, and you are going to drown. Okay? So the Chinese religion, they don't really focus on punishment. They focus on how to show you to do the right thing to balance out your karma. So your next life and or the life afterward or the life of your children won't be so horrible. So why am I talking about this? This is Soul Search Sunday and not Wisdom Wednesday. Why am I talking about this? Well, because Chinese people had long understood the importance of guarding your word. That in the Buddhism Bible, in the Taoist Bible, it talk about two kinds of karma. There's the karma from your action. It's called Dao De. Dao De. De means karma. Dao means the way, the path you choose, the way you do things. So it's a karma accumulated by your action. Okay, and then there's a second kind. A lot of people don't realize this. There's a second kind called 口德. 口德, 口 means mouth. Mouth karma means the karma you accumulate by your words. So in a lot of uh, texts, in a lot of Bibles for those religions, they talk about even if you are the most righteous person in the world, but if your words are hurtful, if your words are bad, you have bad coda, you have bad mouth karma. It's still not going to help you. You still won't escape being uh, possibly uh, brought back next life, reincarnated into a slug or something like that. You know, so it's very important in the Chinese culture to have not only have the right intention or the right action, uh, but also to have the right words, to pick the right words. Think back now through your life, all the conflicts, all the bad things that happened between you and another human being. I would almost venture to guarantee that 99% of the grief you ever had with another human being is due to someone during some time said something that should have not been said. Maybe you, maybe the other party, but someone somewhere opened their mouth and let something out that should have been kept in. I remember a cousin when I was growing up. He's one of those people. I'm sure we all have people in our life that are more or less like that. Probably not quite as extreme as my cousin, but my cousin falls into that category of people that we Chinese people we would say he doesn't know how to 聊天, 不会聊天, doesn't know how to chat, doesn't know how to carry a conversation, or some people say he 不会说人话, doesn't know how to speak like a human being. So what does that mean? Well, these people like my cousin, they have no filter. Whatever they think go from their heart. It doesn't even detour over to their brain. Go from their heart straight out their mouth, regardless of the consequences. Now, some people might say, well, what's wrong with that? That's honesty. Now, we need more honesty in the world. It would be nice. Well, it wasn't really nice for my cousin. See, my cousin was such a filterless, a straight talker that uh, he ended up with more trouble in his life, more people ignoring him, more people wanted to shun him than anything else. How bad was he? Well, let me give you an example. Um, my cousin would go to work and see the janitor in their company washing the floor. And he would walk up to the janitor and he said, "Hey, Mr. Chin, Washing the floor, eh? Hey, thanks. I really like the work you do, but you should be careful, eh? You're so old. If you slip and fall, you'll break your hip, and no one's going to take care of you, and you'll starve to death. That's the kind of thing that's going to come out of his mouth. His intention was good. He wanted the janitor to be careful, but he ended up going to say he would end up saying something that's going to make the janitor feel kind of icky for the rest of the day. Or he would walk into work and he would say to his coworker, "Hey, Marian, hey, you look good. Hey, you're looking like you're having a good life. You're putting on some weight. Oh, wow, you're really getting fat. But you got to be careful. If you get fat, you're going to have a heart attack and drop dead at work." Uh, or if he see his boss wearing a new watch, he will say, "Hey, Mr. Johnson, great watch, really good watch. Must be really expensive, but I would be really careful if I wear a watch like that. You go out there, someone's going to rob you and probably shoot you in the head and take your watch." That's the kind of thing that my cousin was just such a bad speaker, bad conversationalist. He would spend almost all his speaking hour insulting or offending people, that it got to the point that even during family gatherings and every time there's a occasion like wedding or funeral, people started to avoid him. People wouldn't invite him. One day, his wife's dad birthday was coming up, so his father-in-law uh, invited them to his birthday party. But his wife said to him, he said, I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go because every time you show up at our family function, you end up saying something so bad that it offends everybody, and I end up having to apologize for you." My cousin said, "Well, tell you what, I'll keep my mouth shut the entire birthday party, okay? I won't say a single word. No, I'll be good. I'll be good. I won't say a single word." So okay, his wife said, "Oh, okay, well, fine, fine, but if you break your promise, then I'm never going to forgive you." So they went to the birthday party, and then yeah, true to his word, my cousin didn't say a single word for the entire party. He just nodded his head at people, smiled, shook his head, everything was fine. When they were ready to leave the party, his father-in-law came out and shook his hand, and the father-in-law did the polite saying, said to him, "Oh, I'm so glad you showed up, but are you feeling okay? You're usually so talkative, but today you barely said anything." And my cousin looked around and saw that his wife wasn't there. She was busy talking to someone else. He opened his mouth and he said to his father-in-law, "Well, your daughter told me that I always offend people when I open my mouth, so I told her that I was going to keep my mouth shut. So I didn't say anything. So if you suddenly drop dead tomorrow, no one can blame me." Yeah, yeah, you know, you can imagine that marriage did not last very long. Uh, so I think the end of it is, no matter what we put into our mouth, no matter what comes out of our mouth, it is our responsibility to take care of ourselves and to take care of the people around us. We don't want to eat anything that would hurt us. At the same time, we shouldn't say things that would hurt other people as well. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Music Monday, assuming my throat feel better tomorrow. For now, have a good night.